Hello, Namaste. Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna. This is Sukriti Joshi, ma'am, your very own educator, teacher, philosopher, guide, mentor, counselor, friend, one and all. And this is the one-stop destination wherein we are all gonna learn together and grow together, and we can form a beautiful bond which will blossom for life, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get started, right? All right, so we'll just be starting off. Let's just try and share because it has been a very like it has been a long time since I've used this. So yeah, I hope this is visible. So now I've created the slide so that you understand what how to go about it, and I would definitely be linking this um slide in the chat box if it is possible, right? Uh, Keeping that aside, let's get started, right? Let's dive deep into the recesses and let's start, right? So, uh, this is Father to Son, which is a profound poem written by Elizabeth Jennings, right? This is from your 11th CBSE curriculum, English curriculum, right? And this is slide number 1 that I've created. So, um, it is the poem that we are going to deal with, or that I'm gonna delineate. What is there in this poem is the name or the title of the poem is Father to Son, right? So, poem again, it's written by Elizabeth Jennings. I'm again and again trying to emphasize and put emphasis and highlight the fact that who is the writer, who is the poet. All right, this is a poem, so the poet would be there, who has woven this beautiful poem, right? So then we have this in your hornbill. You should even know the name of the book. It's from your hornbill because you have hornbill and snapshots, right, in class 11th, and you have Bustas and Flamingo in class 12, right? So for 11th, you have to remember that you have which chapters, which poems from Hornbill and which ones from Snapshots, right? It's not that difficult to remember. Now, coming to what are the central themes in the poem, the central themes that we get to see that the poet has tried to carve out basically the common themes that we get to see in today's era, in today's society and system as well, that our generation gap, right? So nowadays you think Gen Z and um students think that there's a lot of generation gap, that people, that their parents aren't able to understand them, their teachers aren't able to understand them, uh, you know elderly people can't understand them, and they can't understand their grandparents or elderly people or the parents or the teachers. So there's a generation gap. So obviously we get not only the hint or the glimpse or the glance, so to speak, right? We, in fact, the central theme of the poem is generation gap. That's what the poet is hinting over here. Not only hinting, it is touching upon that, right? So Elizabeth Jennings is touching upon it in a very sensitive manner, right? Then we have communication and emotional distance. So, there's not only communication gap, but there is emotional gap as well, right? So it's not only about that if I and you, for example, aren't talking, or aren't able to interact with each other. It's not only about communication gap, that okay, I'm busy, I have some work to do. All right, that's about it. It's also about emotional gap, right? Sometimes you don't have time. Yeah, there's an advertisement too that has come up now, that has popped up, that when in the beginning, if your parents aren't able to give you time, because they are trying to do their best, they're trying to do their duties in order to fetch for you, in order to fetch for their children, in order to give best in order to provide best for their children only, and to their families, but their children can't appreciate because they aren't getting the time, they're not getting the love and affection that they think that they deserve, right? So again, generation gap is there. Then when they grow up, then children aren't able to give time, and they aren't able to give because they are again involved in some sort of duty or the other, right? They have their studies, or they have their um something or the other going on, right? College work, or um university work, or what do you call it, um office work, or school work, anything, right? So that creates emotional distance or emotional gap as well, apart from the communication one, right? That is obviously because nowadays we have to, most of the employer, not the employers as well as the employees, they don't live in their own cities. They don't live in their own area. They isolate themselves, they alienate themselves, right? But herein we are talking about that how living in the same home, how living in this, it's not even a home, we can't call it home, because a home becomes home when the members of the family love each other, when there is understanding in the air, when they understand each other, when they communicate with each other in a proper manner, that is, a two-way, not one way. And when they're able to understand each other, and emotionally also they're connected, right? And physically also they're connected, mentally also they understand each other. That's when they're connected, they form a special bond. But over here we get to see that how living in the same house, which should have been the home, they don't they can't express their love or affection, or they aren't able to communicate, even forget about the expression of thoughts, or of the words, or performing some sort of affectionate action or deed. Even if you do that, there is generation gap, communication gap, emotional gap, you know, mentally also there is a lot of gap, because, obviously there would be different opinions and thoughts of the younger generation, and the generation that is uh, I mean, between the parents and the children, right? So let's move on. I hope you have understood the slide. Now let's move on to the next slide. Give me a second. Yeah. So slide 2. So now about the poet about the poet Jennings, Elizabeth Jennings, right? We get to see the year being 19. It begins from 1926, and it ends uh at 2001, right? So 1926 till 2001, right? English poet. She has been an English. Obviously, she is a very well known, great poet, known for simple style. So she has the way she has adopted and carved out this poem, has woven this poem. It's incredible. So English, she's a superb poet. English poet. Remember that she is an English poet, known for simple style and emotional depth. So she's known for her simple style. Although her style might be simple, but the way she is able to articulate and communicate through her works, right? Emotionally, how she is able to bind and connect with the readers, that is something that is marvelous, right? So now herein we get certain themes that are of relationships, religion, childhood, and human bonds, right? So these are again some of the central themes, as I've discussed before. That communication gap, generation gap, and emotional gap, these were the three stages. Now these are other themes that again the central themes, so to say, that we get to see that are of relationships, religion, right? Of religion, because we are gonna have a look at how in Christianity, uh, which I would be explaining you further in my further sessions, that how Christianity, how when we talk about progeny, so there's a story behind it. So how in Christianity it holds its importance, and how one shouldn't be so um preoccupied, and one shouldn't be so uh running after wealth in a rat race, that one forgets how to live uh, a simple life, a simple, soothing life, and then just washes away all the materialistic stuff that that person had accumulated, and then again comes back. So yeah, so we get to see about it. Then we get to see about that I'll be coming up, that I'll be touching upon, right, in my uh, next series, right? Coming coming up series. So now talking about childhood. So yeah, that how when a child is there. So during the childhood stage, or there's infancy stage, then comes childhood, then comes adulthood, and then finally uh then adolescence, and then adulthood, and then finally adult, right? These are certain stages, right? um and in psychology also there are different stages, right? So during those stages, if parents do not listen to their children or pay attention to their children, then there are different loopholes that that get um uh get that get popped up when the child grows up, because it's only about how you water the seeds, how you are watering the seeds. That if you are giving them proportionate water, they will blossom. If you aren't, then they will not, right? So then yeah. And human bonds, obviously, human bonds, if the more you connect, the more you interact, the more you try to know each other, the more you get emotionally connected, the more you are available, you are there for the other person, you are there for your child, the more you are um listening to your child, the more empathy or sympathy, or the more the 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 amicability, the way you show your amicability, or how much amicable or friendly nature you possess, that is what gets portrayed or delineated in at the later stage in your life, and his or her life as well, and in your child's life as well. So it depends on how amicable you make your child feel, the parent makes the child feel, right? Or the child makes the parent feel. So it should be both ways. It shouldn't be that only the parent is doing or the child is doing. It should be both ways. It shouldn't be that it is one way. No, then the relationship won't work. You have to make efforts in order to build relationships or human bonds, because we are talking about being human. We are not talking about robots here, right? Robots might work without sensitivity, or might work without connections, or might work without emotions, but humans cannot. You need to portray, you need to display your emotions. Child needs to display his or her emotions in front of their parents. Otherwise, how will they get connected? How will the parents know about the psychological or mental or physical or emotional well-being of the child? And same goes with the parents. They need to talk out, they need to figure it out, and then they need to talk it out in front of their in front of their children, how they are feeling, what emotions are they going through. Because adults at a later stage somehow tend to think that now we are adults, now we can't share anything. No, that's wrong, absolutely wrong, that's weird in fact. So one needs to share one's feelings. One needs to be open to what one one needs to give vent to one's feelings and emotions. That's actually the sign of being bold. That's actually the sign of building bonds too. One should try to connect, have connections, right? uh, then only human bonds will develop. Then coming to slide number 3, which is introduction to the poem. So father expresses feelings of alienation from his son. So over here we get to see that how father is expressing his, feeling of how he has got alienated from his son, and he doesn't even remember at what time and and at what place did he uh, was he isolated or alienated, or not with his child, physically and mentally or emotionally and psychologically. So he expresses his feelings that how come he wasn't being, even though he was present, but he was not present, like he was invisible. So how did it happen, and when did it happen, right? It highlights generation gap. As I have spoken before, it highlights generation gap, which is a central theme of this poem. Now, universal theme of love versus misunderstanding between parents and children. So this is the universal theme which is prevalent, all over. It's not only prevalent in India or in Indonesia or in Russia or in uh, Asia or in London or in Paris or in America. It is prevalent all over the globe because we are one nation at the end of the day. We are one globe at the end of the day. We are one planet. Our Mother Earth is there, right? So it highlights the universal theme of love. So there's this universal theme of love versus misunderstanding. So obviously, if there's a relationship, obviously there would be love. There would be an expression of love. There would be feelings of um, anxiety, of depression, of sometimes stress, of sometimes anger, of sometimes agitation, and sometimes of love, of affection, of being worried, uh, of being, worried about anything, uh, and of being anxious, of being jealousy can also come up. So all these things are there. So misunderstanding between parents and love, these are the two things that can happen. And misunderstanding in the see, you can say that when the because what the child wants, the parent cannot understand, and what the parent wants, the child cannot understand. So this is creating a kind of a chaos or a kind of a misunderstanding. Why? Because from the lens of a child is seeing some other hue, some other color from the spectrum. But from the lens of the parent is seeing the other color at the end of the spectrum. But are they both wrong? No. Both of them might be right. Yeah. But seeing is the angle, right? So it's the angle which differs. It's the attitude which differs. It's uh the arrogance, the attitude, the emotions which differ, the thought process that differs, the emotions that differ, right? Otherwise they're same, right? There obviously there might be differences when we talk in terms of age, but nonetheless, these are the major issues. Now, slide number 4, main themes: lack of communication between father and son. So, one is lack of communication between father and son. Second is pain of emotional distance. So, there can be pain of emotional distance, that they are not emotionally available for each other, right? Always. So, there are times when parents are busy working because they have to fetch for their children. So, they are busy minting money, because without money you can't, children cannot do anything. So but children don't understand that at that age, and even when they grow up. So pain of emotional distance is there. Then desire for reconciliation, that how they will there's this inner desire of reconciliation, that I should forgive the I that child has child tries to reconciliate, have that kind of reconciliation that I should forgive my father, and father has that I should forgive my son. But both of them cannot do anything because the situation has been created like that, has been fabricated, has been interwoven like that, right? So universality of parent child conflict. So this is the major, it's a universal theme. It's not only related to one country, one nation. It is related to the entire globe, to our mother earth, that there's parent child conflict in any relationship you can take, whether it be of husband wife, of girlfriend boyfriend, of sister brother, any relationship, right, of friends, right? There, if there is love, affection, there will be conflicts, there will be obstacles, there will be, obviously you can't have rosy relation kind of a relationship. You will be having fights, you will be arrogant, you will be sometimes having attitude, you will be sometimes be guilty, you will be having all the kinds of emotions, all the shades of emotions, right? Gray, black, bright, yellow, red, blue, green, every emotion, right? Every hue, every shade of emotions, right? Next is slide number 5, which is now, in stanza 1, father feels he doesn't understand his grown-up son. Now he's again and again, we are pointing out the same thing over here, that father feels that he doesn't understand his child. Obviously, in most of the cases now also, during PTMs, what happens is that parents complain that they aren't able to understand their children, right? And so, ma'am, you tell us what you do. That's the major question that I have been asked time and again, that parents come and ask me that our child doesn't listen to us, so you tell me what to do, what should we do with him or her. So here also we are having the same sort of a condition and situation, that is, father feels he doesn't understand his grown-up son. In the second stanza, despite living together, there is a barrier of silence. So as I've spoken before, that herein the case is different. Herein it's not only about isolation, that the child is living separately from his dad or from his mom. He is basically, it's about father and son relationship, and we are talking in terms of religion as well. So in terms of religion, it is father means Jesus Christ, and son means mankind, right? So hearing, despite living together, there's a barrier of silence. We are talking in terms of that how though living in the same house, I won't be making use of the word home, because home is made up of people, but and of relationships. It's made up of love, affection, relationships, people, bonds that they share, emotions that they share, expressions that they share, thoughts that they share, and therefore a bond blossoms. But herein, in this house, despite living together, both of them live together in the same house, there's a barrier of silence, right? In the third stanza, we get to see father wishes for open conversation and mutual understanding. So in the third stanza, we get to the point wherein we talk about that how father is actually wishing for having an open sort of a conversation, like two-way conversation, right? Like me also talking, like you can assume that I'm the father and you are the son, right? So I want this is a one-way conversation that is taking place right now. I'm the one who is talking and you are the one who is listening. So I want you also to ask me your questions, your queries. I want you to also reply and to comment in the comment section below how you feel and what you feel, and whether you like the session or not. If you like it, if you want something else, some other explanation also, you can or notes, you or ppts, you can let me know in the comment section below. So it depends. So I even here I'm asking you, right? So I am trying to be open, right? And I'm trying to have an I'm trying to have open conversation, right, with you. And therefore I'm trying to build a I'm trying to build a mutual understanding, right? So here also father wishes for open conversation and mutual understanding. Then in stanza 4, it ends with hope. Father still offers a hand of friendship. So it in stanza 4, it basically opens with hope, right? wherein father still offers a hand of friendship, right? So stanza 4, when we talk about stanza 4, it opens with hope, right? So that means this poem is also hinting and spotting, it's also you know um trying to make it look, it's not only a labyrinth wherein we get confused and perplexed, but it also provides hope, a kind of a solution, right? So it ends with hope. Father still offers a hand of, wherein father is still ready to have a conversation, still ready to share his emotions, still ready to understand his child, which he hasn't been able to for several years now. Now, slide number 6, it is pertaining to poetic devices. So, silence surrounds us, it's a metaphor. Uh, even in silence surrounds, uh, forget about us because it is you. So, the repetition of the same sound, S, so it is alliteration too, and it is metaphor too. Silence surrounds us, right? Then contrast closeness in blood versus distance in heart, right? It's a contrast. Closeness in blood versus distance in heart. So, how can there be closeness in blood? It's a contrast. And distance in heart. And how can someone have distance in heart, but we are talking about that kind of relationship wherein they are not so close to each other, right? Then symbolism, empty rooms, so symbolize lack of bonding. So empty rooms symbolize lack of bonding. Then we have slide number 7, which signifies important lines and explanations. So I do not understand this child shows father's helplessness. It is totally portraying father's helplessness, hopelessness, which which teachers, as an educator, as a teacher, as a philosopher, as a guide, as a mentor, and a friend too, I'm able to figure it out during PTMs that how, sometimes, most of the times, in fact, parents are helpless and hopeless. They aren't able to do anything. But child has to, child also, according to me, the suggestion that I would like to give in my session over here is that child should also try to understand his or her parents, right? Children should definitely try to understand their emotions, their feelings. Then silence surrounds us, communication gap. So it's around, it basically means communication gap. Silence surrounds us, it envelops us, it surrounds us, right? We speak like strangers, so estrangement within the family. So we are speaking, if somebody speak like strangers, so if the father and the son, they are speaking like strangers, so obviously it is showing, showing the fact that how they are acting as strangers. So there's estrangement within the family. I would have him prodigal, that means father's yearning for closeness. So he yearns, he wants that close bond to get established. Then we have slide 8, which is for values and messages. So you have communication. The first one is that communication is essential in relationships, right? Parents must adapt to children's individuality, and we also uh, have been told time and again that children also have their own individuality, and parents should definitely not try to kill that individuality. They should in fact respect the individuality of their child, because their child is unique, and children have their own unique identity apart from what their parents possess and what their parents want, the kind of desires, the kind of ambitions, the kind of wants that they have. They might be different. Their parents might think that it is next to impossible, but according to them it is possible, right? And what if that dream comes true? Then they would be very happy, very elated, they will be very glad. So it there is each and every child is a gift of God. So we should definitely respect that identity and gift which has been given to us, which has been given to the parents by God. So parents must adapt to children's individuality. Love can heal the generation gap. So only one thing can heal if you want, there have been various healing masters in relationship masters. So if you really want any sort of healing to happen in any sort of relationship, whether it be a father and son or any relationship, you have to have that love, that affection, that kindness, that you have to show kindness, you have to show sympathy, you have to show empathy, you have to be loving, you have to be caring for that person. Then reconciliation is always possible. You can reconciliation is always possible. Then we have slide 10, that is conclusion. Where here father to son portrays a universal problem of emotional distance between generations. So as you know um uh, whether we talk about our grandparents or great grandparents, so and parents too, herein we are talking only about father and son. But what about grandparents then? Will the child listen to them? No. So the poem is hinting at a universal problem which is prevalent, um, of that is of emotional distance between generations. The poem ends on a hopeful no, but the poem is having an optimistic viewpoint, that is of reconciliation and love. Clear? I hope it is clear. All right. So for today, that was it. This is Sukriti Joshi ma'am signing off. And till then, let's all keep exploring. Till then, let's all keep exploring. Let's all keep growing, right? All right. Bye bye. Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe.